Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, the 18th day of May. It's National HIV Vaccine Awareness Day, National Visit Your Relatives Day. Maybe call. That'd probably be better. National No Dirty Dishes Day. In our household, that's every day. I live with Tidy Heidi over here.
It's also not every day.
Yeah, pretty much. And National Cheese Souffle Day. This, by the way, I just want to say, this is what it's like living with Tidy Heidi. I'll be finishing eating something, and she'll be like, "You done with that plate?" And I'm like, "I still have food on the..."
It's not that bad.
She's like, "Just hurry up and eat those last 3 bites. I want to tidy up."
It's not
okay,
that
it's not
bad.
quite that bad. Hey, it's a Movie Star Monday, and I'm super excited to visit with Steven Ogg. You've seen him in a ton of stuff. He's been in a bunch of movies. He's been in a whole bunch of TV shows like Westworld and The Walking Dead. And there's a new one that just started last night on TNT. It's called Snowpiercer, and this one looks really, really good. Anyway, I've got a chat with him coming up for our Movie Star Monday in just a bit. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A Salesforce survey found that workers have been more productive from home than they are in the office. 40% of responders said, "I prefer working from home, and I'd like to do this all the time." I actually predicted that.
It is nice.
I think there are people who will realize I can actually get more done in less time. You know, because when you're in the office, and here's the thing that kind of stinks. There are people like me. I'm a people person. I like chatting with other people.
Yes, you do.
But then those other people don't get as much work done because I'm busy talking to them about, "Hey, saw this movie the other day." And then I talk to them for 2 hours about the movie. They could have just watched the movie. Just saying. Thanks for listening to Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Springfield, Illinois man facing charges after allegedly destroying a home and running from police. They responded around midnight, found a silver Ford Escape had crashed into a home, making it unlivable. The 31-year-old suspect, Alfonso Brown, fled the scene. He was later found in his britches.
Did he do it
and a tank top.
He must have been intoxicated and ran into the house. Not like he vandalized it or something on purpose, right?
No. He smelled of alcohol. He was reportedly kicking and spitting at an officer, even tried to bite one. He was arrested for DUI. Clear plastic bag was later found inside the vehicle. He was driving with pills, and it was ecstasy is what it turned out to be. They said they took him to jail. He threw his underwear at an officer, hitting him in the duty belt. So, there you go. I don't know. Lot going on there. Anywho, don't know why you would do that, but that is what happens.
Funny that underwear hit the duty belt.
Would you just stop? That's what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Matthew McConaughey. I've always liked Matthew McConaughey.
He seems like a neat guy.
I think he would be kind of a fun dude to hang out with. So, you don't think so?
I don't know about that.
So, anybody who knows Matthew McConaughey, just say, "Hey, you should reach out to John and Heidi. They'd like to hang out." John would. Heidi said, Tell him that, too. Matthew McConaughey just told Fox News that people need to stop letting politics divide us in our response to COVID-19. I agree completely.
Agreed.
And there's too many people who are like staunch this side or that side, and they won't even listen to the other side. The good news is I can have a conversation with anybody about just about anything. Even if I don't agree with them, I'll still be polite and listen. And I think that is something more people should do. Meet the Press host Chuck Todd apologized for airing selectively edited clips of Attorney General William Barr during his show last week on NBC. That's not a good thing to do. You don't do that. You don't edit an interview to make it look like somebody said something wrong. And then CBS This Morning host denies taking a nap in the middle of the Tuesday show. Can you even imagine?
Wow.
They're like, did you fall asleep? He's like, huh? No, I was resting my eyes.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen on the John and Heidi Show.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. The FBI accidentally, I'm doing air quotes there, accidentally revealed the name of the Saudi diplomat who helped the 9/11 terrorists. So they accidentally revealed that name.
Okay.
I don't exactly understand how that was an accident or how that was revealed. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to me, but accidentally, I'm saying. Nation's movie theaters are going to do something I think kind of interesting. Going to begin showing classic blockbusters when the doors open.
I love this.
And a lot of them are going to do like a $2 admission to revive their business and get people back in. Because here's the issue.
Love it. I will go to those.
There are a lot of theaters that are saying, hey, we're ready, we're able to open, but there's other theaters in other states that are not ready. So the movie companies...
And the movies aren't being released.
They're saying, well, we're not going to release to
I love it.
a dozen theaters.
I
It's not
would
going to happen.
absolutely go to classic movies.
I think that sounds like fun. Scientists are warning that a growing number of people who are panicked over murder hornets have been killing honeybees.
Don't do that.
So,
we need them.
Yeah. Here's what I think you should do. If you are concerned, just look at an image because they are clearly different. They don't even look like honeybees. So maybe if you look at an image on the Google machine or whatnot, just ask what a murder hornet looks like.
Here's another thing, though. They're getting confused with those things that eat the cicadas.
Okay.
Those are not murder hornets.
No.
We had those in a home that we lived in.
What were those called?
Sand wasps or something is what we called them. I don't know if that's the technical
I have
term.
no idea what they were. But they burrow into the ground.
Yeah, they burrow
it's
into
not
the
a murder
ground.
hornet.
No, but people are killing those things like
Okay.
crazy too. And as far as I'm concerned,
We all just need to calm down.
getting rid of the
Calm
cicadas is not a bad thing. But
By the way, Tesla founder Elon Musk in the next two stories. He filed a lawsuit against the county for refusing him to letting him reopen his plant.
Good for him.
And then the next story says he reopened his factory in defiance of California and said, if anyone goes to jail, it needs to be me. So I'm not sure. Both of these things happened last week. If I clicked on the story, I wonder if it would have an update. I'm not really sure what happened there. The city of Los Angeles expected to be under coronavirus restrictions, by the way, through the end of July. Long time. Now, here's some positive news. The oldest woman in Spain, she's 113. She got coronavirus. Guess what? She's okay. She beat coronavirus.
That's awesome.
So 113 years young. That is really, really cool. And a federal judge ruled that gentlemen's clubs are eligible for emergency relief funds that are aimed at small businesses. So there were some people saying, no, those shouldn't be. And then they're going, but they're a small business and they have employees. So
that's true.
And a group of California inmates were caught injecting themselves with coronavirus in hopes that they would get released from prison.
Oh, jeez.
So I think they have exactly what they have coming right there. I mean, that's just it's a bad precedent to say, hey, we're going to let people go if they get this. Because then that's what they're going to try to do is say, well, I need to get it so I can leave.
Yeah.
Bad idea. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thanks for listening to another edition of Movie Star Monday. Today our guest is Steven Ogg. He's been in a ton of movies and a bunch of TV shows like The Walking Dead and Westworld and a whole bunch of other stuff, Better Call Saul. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And he's got a new show that just premiered last night on TNT. It's the highly anticipated sci-fi series Snowpiercer. Steven, thanks for joining us. How are you, sir?
I am doing well as can be. I guess that's the new expression. How are you doing? Safe and healthy and well as can be.
That's fantastic. And well as can be is about the best we can ask for. Now let's talk a little bit about The Walking Dead and Westworld and all of these fun things that you've had a chance to be a part of. And then you've got this new one, Snowpiercer, that is very highly anticipated. Just came out last night. What's it like to be a part of big programs like this that everybody's talking about? That's got to be a pretty cool feeling, doesn't it?
It is. I mean, Snowpiercer is, I think, a super exciting show, and it's a super wonderful group of people, and it's going to be a fun ride, this Snowpiercer.
And Snowpiercer's coming out right now. That's a program people can watch on TNT. And now, how long ago did you guys start working on this? Because I know people aren't filming anything right now. When did you start filming this?
Well, season 1 was actually, we had pretty much finished season 2 when the productions all shut down. So season 1 was already in the can. Over a year ago, that was all shot. So that was it's been waiting for its departure from the station.
That's awesome. And this is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi series, so it's kind of set in the future. Now, in addition to Snowpiercer, you've had a chance to be a part of some amazing projects. I'm looking here at like The Walking Dead and Westworld and other major programs people have heard of. You do a pretty darn good job of picking projects, don't you?
It's really good fortune. It's not like I'm sitting at a desk with 6 or 7 or 8 projects in front of me going, should I do a musical or a romantic comedy, or should I do this incredibly, wonderfully huge world where I get to be nasty? It's more the opportunities that present themselves and the ones that seem to resonate with people on the production end. And so I'm just, you just count your blessings when you can work.
Now, some of the characters that you've had a chance to play are not necessarily nice guys. So when you meet people in the public, do people typically still, are they drawn to you and they like you, or do you have people that kind of give you a weird feeling because of some of the characters you've played?
Yeah, there can be initial, especially at the, Comic-Cons and such. Sometimes they're a few feet back, but then they just watch me for a few minutes and realize that I love to engage with people and I love to give big hugs. And I'm, eventually they come up and instantly you're like, wow, you're not like the characters you play. You're really fun and funny and nice. And I'm like, yeah, it's called acting. That's why it's called acting. These aren't documentaries, right?
Well, and that's the thing.
Not based on my life.
You're such a good actor that you do become that character where I could see where people would be a little put off. But, that, like you said, it's called acting, right?
That's what it's all about, which to me, means even more, right? If people are surprised, because then it's, okay, that means you're doing your job well enough for people to be upset or scared of you. And that means, okay, good. I was good acting there.
So
acting real good.
What was the thing that first got you drawn into becoming an actor? Do you remember that thing that made you say, this is what I want to do forever?
Interestingly enough, because I grew up in Alberta, Canada, and not from an acting family. And my mom is the one, my mother always corrects me over the years. I dressed up in drag as Betty Boop when I was in elementary school for, school assemblies. Why? I have no idea. I don't know how I got to that stage at elementary school dressing in drag and doing boop boopy doop on the stage. But that gave that performing, that sort of, wow, this is exciting to be up on stage performing. And thus at whatever I was, 7, 8 years old, I think that's where it began. And from there, I just kind of kept being the stubborn one that I am. I kept going.
Well, I'm glad that you did. We're super excited for TNT's new sci-fi series, Snowpiercer. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us about it, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is going to be a fun ride, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Again, our guest today has been Steven Ogg. He is in Snowpiercer. It just premiered last night on TNT. I've got a link to all of the information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
America accidentally dropped an atomic bomb on South Carolina back in 1958.
Really?
Yeah, March of 1958, a B-47 plane headed to the United Kingdom was armed with an atomic bomb. The bomb was even bigger than Fat Boy, the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki. During the flight, the pilots noticed a fault light, so one of them decided to check it out. In doing so, he accidentally released the emergency pin.
Gosh.
Watching in horror as the bomb dropped to the ground. The good news was the critical part of the bomb needed to set it off was still on the plane, so it did not explode. But boy, that could have been a bad deal.
That could have been horrifying.
That could have been terrible. So there you go. It's a fun fact for you on a Monday.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, your news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Puerto Rico. United Airlines is being blasted for having a completely packed full flight from San Juan, Puerto Rico to Houston, Texas. It allowed no room for social distancing. So here's the thing I got to say. First of all, they were like, hey, we finally made money on a flight. Anybody that was on that flight could have requested a later flight. So there was nobody that was being forced to ride on that particular flight. If they would have said, ooh, hey, it's full, can I take another flight? Yeah, go for it. I guarantee you. So people are freaking out over United Airlines. Everybody on that plane wanted to be there, or they wouldn't have been there.
Right.
So I don't know who was worried about it. Somebody was very upset that this happened, but every single person who sat down on that airplane was okay with it, or they wouldn't have gotten on the airplane.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think it's a non-issue, but clearly I'm wrong. This is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. In tough economic times, nothing beats free. So when a man from Portland heard that Wendy's was giving away free 4-piece nuggets, he wanted to make sure he took advantage of it. The guy who goes by Squeezy, S-K-W-E-E-Z-Y.
Okay.
Pretty cool name. He went to not one, not two, not three, not four.
Geez.
He went to 11 Wendy's restaurants.
Gosh.
And most of them he went to twice. He had employees putting the nuggets in a frying pan that he drove around with so he could practice social distancing, stuck the thing out and, hey, put it in there. In his effort to hit up as many as he could, he also earned a shout out from the company on Twitter. Squeezy tweeted that he had to, quote, hustle to hit, I'm not going to read word for word what he said here, but we'll just say every Wendy's. We'll say that. It took him 5 hours, by the way. He says, that's straight up impressive. Wendy's tweeted, that's straight up impressive, not going to lie. So
Wendy's
cool.
was okay with that.
Yeah, they were like, hey, it's cool. I'm glad you're a fan.
Wow.
So that's really, I think, pretty nifty, Heidi. So this is today's
something
weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't encourage anyone to do this kind of thing. But a North Fort Myers, Florida man punched a police officer in the face. So the guy refused to pay a bill at Chili's, $17.54. They called the police. 35-year-old Scott Bolton was arrested. Officers were called to the restaurant at 11 p.m., so I'm assuming there was alcohol involved, but it doesn't say that. He tried to sneak out without paying his bill. Officers tried to arrest him. He started resisting, punched an officer in the face. According to the police, Bolton then grabbed the officer's taser, trying to take it away. He continued to resist until another officer got to the scene to take Mr. Bolton into custody. Police added that he also made threats to kill the officer when he gets out of jail. So, all over a $17 bill. It cost him $17.54. He tried to sneak out, got arrested. Imagine what this is going to cost him now.
Yeah.
Bad idea. That's why
Pay what you owe.
Yeah, that's why it's today's moment of duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it hashtag fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Fake news or Florida? A Pensacola man was arrested for public intoxication after police found him fighting with a tree. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news.
How in the world do you think that's fake news? Of course that's a true story.
Was it true?
Yeah, we read this story. Don't you remember that?
I don't remember this one, no.
I remember that because I thought it was really funny that he was, when the police got there, they tried to stop him and he went back for another swing at the tree. He thought he was fighting a person. He was really drunk. So
I don't remember that.
I can't believe you don't remember that. I bet he doesn't remember it either. So this has been Fake News or Florida. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. And this, I think, is just a really cool story. And this is a, a glimmer of hope. A man with just a 1% chance of survival was released from the hospital after a 2-month battle with COVID-19.
Oh, wow.
So California, they gave him a 1% chance of survival by doctors, and he beat the odds after 2 months, and he is in a wheelchair. They rolled him out of the hospital. 54-year-old Greg Garfield was in the hospital for 64 days. 31 of those, he was on a ventilator, and he beat the odds. He became ill in early March after a trip to northern Italy in February. So he's in northern Italy, kind of where there were a bunch of people who got COVID-19 there. He suffered pneumonia and a kidney failure. 4 different parts of his lungs collapsed.
Creepers.
If he didn't have bad luck, he wouldn't have had any luck. So it was just one thing after another went bad. The help of physicians and physician trainers, he was slowly able to regain some mobility. He was able to return home with a walker. In this photo here, they have him in a wheelchair, but I think they do that when they wheel you out of the hospital all the time.
Yep.
On a day of his release, everybody on staff gathered for a round of applause because he had
awesome.
a 1% chance, and he beat the odds, and he's leaving. So I think that is so encouraging.
That's very good news.
I think everybody in the country should know this man's name.
Yeah.
And we should be talking about this because sadly what happens instead is we talk about the negative. And I understand the negative is happening, but boy, let's focus on the positive. Let's just try. And this is a great story right here. Again, his 1% chance of survival, and he beat the odds and he survived it. So very, very cool. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. If you want to see this story or if you'd like to share it or any of that kind of stuff, I have a link to it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.